Perfect. Thank you very much. I will share my screen now, and I am very happy to share with you a little bit of what we've been doing in Mexico for the past 3 years, more or less. In Mexico, we have taken all of this knowledge and information from the Global Digital Talent Program, and we have created the Digital Village Project. We were convinced that talent training is not only about the opportunity of for these students to get to know what's happening in the digital economy, but the opportunity that we give them to actually be the ones that create innovation, that create entrepreneurship, that create employment, that create economic wealth and growth for their communities. So we were convinced that students had to have this responsibility in their communities. And that's why we not only stopped at the training of the students, but they actually become mentors themselves. And so the Digital Village Project is, of course, inspired in the Taobao Village program, a program led by Alibaba Group since 2010 that in the past 12 years has created over 5,210 Taobao villages in China and has impacted over 15 million people. In Mexico, the Digital Village Project it really addresses, I know sometimes when we say the word village, people expect us to work only with very underprivileged communities, but really the need for digital transformation is everywhere in every single company in this country. And so we've targeted rural or urban communities with a high commercial vocation. You know, this communities that have been producing something for years, but maybe historically, they haven't been able to integrate technologies in the process of becoming smarter, more efficient, so that they could reach new markets and have better margins. And that's where the Digital Village comes in. So we take all of the information from the Digital Village Project and we implement it with the universities in the different regions where we work. So far, we've worked with 5 state governments and 1 major university in the country. We have trained over 400 teachers and 8,000 students that have impacted over 1,700 companies in the country. Now, the program is very simple. We begin first by selecting the communities that are going to be impacted. We work very closely with state governments, municipal governments, and the federal government to select the regions that are going to be impacted. Further on, we select the 50 mentors that are going to be trained, plus 10 members of the staff, just because it's important for them to also know the content of the program that we are going to be implementing. Then we begin the training, and this is the best part, right? So the first 50 mentors are trained by the professionals in China during the OTT. Then the mentors become the trainers for 1,000 students. The 1,000 students are selected from several universities within the community that we will be working on. And these 1,000 students are divided in teams of 5. And so each mentor will have 4 teams of 5 students, and each team will be assigned to 1 company in their community. And so the whole point is for this mentor students and companies to work throughout the whole program in first understanding where they stand in terms of digital transformation. And then we do the recommendations and then the implementation of the tools that have been selected by the mentors and the students to be implemented in the companies that we're working on. We work on 5 main elements of digital transformation. So we first analyze the digital transformation of internally, the company. How's it doing in terms of digitization of their processes, their communication? So we first look into the internal digitization of the company that we're working on. Then we work on the utilization of data for better decision making. Then we work on the utilization of new payment systems, smart payment systems. Then we work on smart logistics options, and finally operations in digital platforms and marketplaces. And so we first do a diagnosis of these 5 elements, Then we do proposals for implementation of tools in these 5 elements. And finally, we go ahead and we implement them in the companies. And so we do a measurement of digital maturity at the beginning of the program, the middle of the program, and at the end of the program. And we've had some amazing results with this 1,700 businesses that we've been working with in the past 3 years. It has been really, really amazing to see the results. I mean, we've been working with artisans that work with volcanic stone in Guanajuato, Mexico, burnt milk candy from that region too, shoes and leather goods. We've been working with ceramics, with onyx and marble. I'll tell you a little bit about the story of the producers of apples in the North Mountains of Puebla, Mexico. And we've been working with doll producers, doll makers. I saw in the video that we were played earlier, I saw this producer of boats saying, you know, you can easily sell boats in Alibaba as well as you can sell, I don't know, like candy or something. And it is true. I mean, the digital economy has really transformed the way that things are being commercialized in the market. And so it's really interesting to see the work that we've been done with fresh produce, with foods, with beverages, with artisanships. And so I'll tell you a little bit about the last of the communities that I visited. This is here a community, a university actually, in the mountains of North Puebla in central Mexico. Getting to this university took me about 4.5 hours from Mexico City, and I had to drive through the mountains. This is, just a second. This is how the university looks like. It's in the middle of the mountains. It's really secluded and somewhat difficult to access. But here in the pictures that you see here in front of you, on top, you can see the students that went through the GDT training. In the middle, you can see the company. They are the largest community of apple producers in central Mexico. And then you see below the 2 professors that were trained in the OTT last year on GDT. And it is such an amazing story because I don't know how it works in your countries, but for example, these producers, they produce about 50 tons of apples every year. And when they finish producing their apples, they normally have to call what in Mexico we call coyotes. They are middlemen, abusive middlemen that take very big margins from the producers. And so they send their produce over to Mexico City, and this middleman charge them for the logistics of sending their produce to Mexico City. They don't tell them, they tell them, oh, maybe about 15% of your production came badly or arrived not well, and so we couldn't sell that. They tell them the price at which they sold their apples. They take a 10% commission for themselves, and they transfer the rest of the money to the producers. The producers have no control over their production, and of course, every year they get abused. And they know this, but they don't know anything else. They have no idea how they could maybe reach smaller distributors that could increase their margins. But with GDT, and it's very amazing because that man in the middle, when I first met him, he told me, I don't think that 4 little girls are going to help me change my business. But the professors below, they went through the program. They decided that it was something worth doing. And they trained 4 girls in the University of North Mexico and North Puebla, Mexico. And they were committed to making a difference in the apple producing community of Zacatlán de las Manzanas, Mexico. And they worked with them in creating a digital catalog that they uploaded into WhatsApp Business. Then they created an Instagram store for him. They made a Facebook marketplace. They started posting their products on local platforms. And before the year was over, the producers of apples in Puebla, Mexico, didn't have to sell all of their production to the abusive middlemen in Mexico City. They found smaller distributors near their community that bought the apples directly from them, increasing their margins for over 15%. and they didn't have to pay the 10% that they used to pay to the middlemen. This is an increase of over 25% on their margins that they had last year. This year, the apple producers in Puebla are so happy with this newfound margins that they're thinking about opening a little hotel to make experiences for people to create jams and organic sodas. And they're thinking about all of the added value products that they can create with their apples. This is how GDT can change people's lives, because only using digital platforms to create a digital identity allowed for these producers to find new margins, new markets that would allow them to increase their productivity, their efficiency, and to create better products and think about innovation. And so this is, I think, what encapsulates the amazing results that GDT has had in Mexico, and I'm sure what I see now around the world. So we are extremely excited to keep on working on the Digital Village project. This year, we'll be replicating the program in 4 new states and hopefully expanding the program all over Latin America. So we are very, very happy with all the support that we've been having from the Alibaba team in China, the EWTP team, and the GDT team that are convinced on the impact, the positive impact that digital transformation can have all over the world. And I think the Digital Village in Mexico is proof that this is something that could be happening all over the world. Thank you.